All right. What is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. And I do have a very special guest. Today, we're welcoming back the LA Chargers running back. Although on Sunday, you might not have known because for 2 quarters, they wouldn't even run them. But look, that's a different discussion for a different show. Today, we're going to discuss some serious stuff. But welcome back, Justin. I appreciate you coming on. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me back on, Niko. I appreciate it. Last time
no
was
problem
fun,
at all. Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. And like I said, I said it was going to have you. This going to be because whenever the NFL is, I don't care, even if it has nothing to do with the NFL. There's always some controversy going on when NFL season starts.
Right.
And so y'all have some pretty huge. It's a big deal because of everybody that it can impact going down the line. California, the House or the Assembly just passed SB 206, which would allow college players to get paid. And we all know there is some heavy hitting schools in California. And I'm pretty sure those schools are probably in favor. They're like, shit, you can bring them recruits right over here. They will happy as hell to get paid. But it's been causing a lot of controversy. As you know, Bernie Sanders, supported this. LeBron James came out in support of this. He didn't even go to college, but one of the reasons he skipped college was because of the monetary aspect. Yep. So for you're only 2 years removed from the NCAA. You're currently in California. You are a running back, which technically speaking, y'all have like the shortest career, and especially in college, you are probably at the greatest risk for injury because a lot of the plays, whether it be a run play or even an option, you're putting yourself on the front line almost every single play just to even open up a pass because most college quarterbacks are really just average. So what do you think about this law?
I think it's awesome, honestly. And like you heard from Bernie, like you heard from LeBron, it's just putting agency back in the hands of players and just college athletes overall. And really, I think we talked about this last time actually. And last time I mentioned, paying, schools paying the players, NCAA paying the players and splitting it up and all this stuff. Yes, it would be complicated. Do I still think they could do it? Yes, of course. If they really wanted to do it, they
figure out a way to pay themselves.
Right. Exactly. So, if they can divvy up all the revenue sharing, the huge TV contract, all that stuff, they could definitely find a way to cut the athletes in on that who are generating the revenue. But we're putting all that aside. What I said back the last time and what I vehemently believe is that what's so wrong with the whole likeness thing and amateurism in college sports is that players and athletes don't have the agency to their own name, to their own brand. They take that and strip that away from players. So if I wanted to, as myself, go back to my hometown in the offseason and run a camp called Justin Jackson Football Training Camp, and even if I wanted to make a small profit or even whatever, just putting my name out there, advertising that would be, in today's day and age, considered illegal and would force me to be ineligible because I'm making a profit off of my life.
Wow. Back in the day, we used to call that slavery.
Exactly.
At the bare minimum, indentured service.
Exactly. Indentured servitude, right? And so people always say, oh, you get an education, blah, blah, blah. One, all educations are not made the same. My education at Northwestern versus an education at a different school. I'm not going to try and call it another school, but it's not made the same. So you can't really put that out there saying, oh, well, you just get this, so you should be fine with it. No, they're making millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Billions, 14 billion.
Okay, well, there you go. Billions of dollars. And people generating the revenue are not seeing their fair share of that cut. And so, of course, and people like LeBron, who is a businessman and knows his worth and knows how much he generates in revenue for his NBA team and just for the NBA overall. So he knows that these players and a lot of these players and all these athletes come from backgrounds, where they're not very wealthy, poor and working class family backgrounds.
Especially in football. A lot of football players say that football is basically their only choice because their school, like, for example, Antonio Brown, for all his antics, he's from Overtown. If you know anything about Overtown in Florida, there is no opportunity. And so when you're talking about you have a special talent, even if it's something that you don't even want to necessarily do for the rest of your life,
Right.
That's it. You got generations of your family counting on you to bring a paycheck home, and that's the only way to do it. And God forbid you get injured before that happens, especially when you're a star.
Right.
When you know you can you should at least make it $200,000 a year in college, at least that. But
and it's crazy because when you look at the numbers and you look at the statistics, what is it? 1-2% of college football players are going to go on to play in the NFL, if that. So you have all these people.
Make a squad. That's not even like you could be on a practice squad for all that. Yeah,
exactly. So just for you to be putting your body literally on the line every single day, and for these schools and the NCAA overall to be making all this money off of it, and for the people that are actually putting their body on the line not to be getting paid. I mean, you got Nick Saban getting paid $8 to $10 million a year. I mean, and then you got guys, like Derrick Henry who played there, or other guys who Tua, the quarterback right now. So everyone's coming to see him play, but the coach is going to get paid $8 million, and the player's not going to get nothing but an Alabama education. And if they're
gonna be selling his jersey and I went to UNC, so I see this a lot. You see Marcus Page jersey or Bryce Johnson jersey hanging up there. I'm like, damn. I don't even want to buy the jersey because they're not gonna get the money for it anyway. Like UNC makes all that money, they make all the profit that comes with it. I remember they had to stop even making March Madness and the NCAA. What's that damn football game?
NCAA college football.
Yeah. They had to stop making because they were making all this money off the players. And what they do, they just put the numbers.
Right.
Like you got all my skills, got my whole face, and they just put the number.
Got their hometown, their height, their weight, everything is them. But so they're taking the name off of it, right? So they're basically just stripping you of your name and of your person. So
remember when they used to be able to transfer the play? Because remember when Madden and the NCAA football, and you would transfer, and the name of the player would be in Madden, but not on the NCAA football game.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
So I think it's huge just for people to be able. I mean, think about like Zion last year. Think about how much money he would have made just if he was able to sell his own shirts, sell his own hats.
Might have been inclined to stay at Duke for another couple of years.
Right, exactly. And so that actually puts more, and I was just thinking that earlier, is you incentivize more so for players and athletes to stay and actually finish to get their education if they're not in that money bind. Some people have to leave because they feel like their family is struggling so much they have to do something to try and get money to help their families or to help themselves. They might not have any money themselves. So and that's something I think that could just be so huge for college athletes overall. So I'm really hoping that this is something. I mean, I know the NCAA will fight tooth and nail to to strike it down. Don't get me wrong. So it's going to take really a lot of people, using their voices and coming out. That's why it's so awesome for someone like LeBron to come out and support, because obviously he's probably the most influential athlete out there right now.
Yeah, definitely, especially because he didn't even play college football. Like he has nothing. He's almost done, right? And he has more than enough money to take care of his son when he goes to that half a year of college before he sits down and just goes to the NBA.
Right.
But
literally happening. Yeah.
That's literally going. That's probably exactly what's going to happen. But I want to speak to this idea of a quote unquote student athlete, and I've always felt like that term was often used to the bane of a student athlete's existence, because they always try to create this myth that, well, you're a student first. And it's like, but motherfucker, I didn't get a scholarship to go to my class on time and get straight A's. Right. I'm sorry. Right. But if I don't go to my class on time, I'm not about to lose my scholarship. If I get a C minus or a C, even a D, I'm not going to lose my scholarship for football. But if I don't do what I'm supposed to on that field, not only just do it, but at the highest level, I could lose my scholarship. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a great point.
So it's not 50-50. It's like I'm here. Like, the school is literally using me, and their excuse is, well, you can get a good education too while you're here, I guess, if you want. But we mostly just want you to play football.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Is that like the moral of the story?
Yeah. I mean, at different institutions, it's unique to each institution. Like where I went, my coach really believed in getting that education, because he went through it. He knows. He tried out for the NFL, didn't really work out. And if he hadn't got back into coaching, he would have had to go out and get a job. So, and he knows, the statistics of it. He knows that, maybe 1-2 guys a year from the team are gonna go to the league, if that. So he is very into, you got to be in class. Like, you need to be, getting this GPA, all this type of stuff, which is why we have one of the highest graduation rates in team GPAs, because that's the type of people he brings in. But not every, like we all know, not every institution is like that. Not every team is like that at all. Most teams
especially
aren't.
the heavy hitters in any particular sport.
Right.
Oh, exactly. Man. I remember we had a tradition at UNC where basically if you were an athlete, the easiest language to take was Portuguese. So I was in Portuguese because that was my major or my second major. And literally everybody around me was an athlete. What's his Isaiah? I can't remember his damn name now. He was the starting power forward for the national championship team on our national championship team at UNC. He was in
Rashad something.
Something like that. I always called him Isaiah. I always forget his last name, but we used to stay together and everything. He was in 2 of my Portuguese classes. It was crazy watching him because he was always exhausted. Every morning he was exhausted. His UNC basketball team, all they do was run. They don't even touch basketball, they just run all day. So and I just thought bro, I don't think he went to the league. I don't think so. He might be playing overseas somewhere, but bro, for you to be that exhausted, he won a national championship. You get any money from that national championship?
No.
What do you get after? He might be able to come back and coach for UNC, but that's about, if he doesn't make it to the league, that's basically where that's going to end up. And that's a damn shame. All that money that March Madness generates, and now you have the playoffs with the Final Four, or with the not Final Four, excuse me, with the Final Four team that you have, and you have. And they definitely try their hardest to include at least all the major conferences in football. So SEC makes their money, ACC makes their money, Big Ten, Pac-12, they all make their money.
Yeah,
they got to have one team, and every fan in that conference is watching, and then some.
Right, exactly. And it was funny because I'm sure you saw the whole Tebow take and everything.
I'm gonna ask you about that.
The funniest part of that for me was
so passionate.
Right. He said, my jersey was the 3rd best-selling jersey in the world behind Kobe and LeBron, and I didn't see any money from it, and I was completely fine with that. And I'm sitting there dude, you hear what you're saying? Yeah. Your jersey was making millions of dollars around the world, and you saw none of that. Now, in what privileged world do you think that's fair? It's unbelievable. He made his case for his point is the entire case against his point. So it's just funny.
It was Stephen A interviewed him, right? Stephen A and Max. Yeah. Bruh, I remember Stephen A's face was like he didn't want to go off, but that boy was he was like, oh, what? You let them make all that money on? And bro, Florida still makes money off of Tim Tebow. To this day, they still making money off of Tim Tebow. And for Tim Tebow, bro, Tim Tebow, I mean, this is the epitome of privilege, right? He was an okay quarterback. He was a great quote unquote college quarterback. And that's a whole different thing we can talk about later. But he goes to the NFL, is a way below average quarterback, but gets multiple opportunities to be a good quarterback. Right. Cam Newton, if he performed like Tim Tebow performed at his first spot, there is no more Cam Newton. Lamar Jackson, there is no more Lamar Jackson. There is those type of quarterbacks who have much more to lose, more of their family riding on them being successful, don't get the opportunity that Tim Tebow got. Then after Tim Tebow didn't make it, boy had an opportunity to play professional baseball. Then after that, he had an opportunity to play in the CFL at some point. He was then he goes on television and gets another job. Then he's doing an analysis for both college and then NFL. Bro. Of course, it's easy for you to say, oh, I didn't make any money, because not everybody has a Tim Tebow face. You know what I'm saying? That good old Christian football face. That face that Russell Wilson tries to put on a lot. I ain't gonna call nobody, I ain't gonna call him out. He's marketable. They market Steph Curry. I like Steph Curry, don't get me wrong, but they got the marketable face, and they're usually the Christians, if you will, because they don't question authority as much. Right. And that's the truth. It's inherent in the religion. So when you have Tim Tebow speaking like that, I'm like, bro, you're embarrassing yourself. You dancing for massa right now, dog. And once again, he's literally using the platform that was given to him to talk about, bro, we wouldn't even be listening right now. You about to host the game right now. After you, And what if you weren't Tim Tebow and they did that? Because there are a lot of players who aren't Tim Tebow, like Johnny Manziel, for example. And he had a lot of privilege too, but other players who performed top 5 in the country, had their jersey pimped out and never made it to the league or never made it anywhere in the league, they don't get speaking positions.
Right.
Multiple tryouts.
It's true. It's 3 or 4 years of your life that you're just missing out on, really, for the top athlete. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's just crazy. And where's all that money end up going? To these wealthy institutions who in turn don't, I mean, once you're gone, it's not like they're paying you any type of, fees or money or anything for all the stuff that you made. It's not, you're just done. You're gone, you know what I mean? And it's just the next guy in, you know what I mean? And yeah, fans might remember you, they might bring you onto the field for the 5-year anniversary of a team, but I mean, what does that mean? Like,
you don't make me pay, don't give me no money.
So I mean,
that's true, man.
It's very indicative of the way workers in this country are used. It's very indicative of it, and it really seeps into every part of our society. Man, and college sports is not exempt from that.
If the top 25 college players in each respective sport unionized, oh, bruh. Shit. They all of a sudden NCAA gonna be like, yeah, man, I could just go ahead and skip college. Go ahead, do what you gotta do. All of a sudden they be real but I think it's necessary. I do believe that college players should be able to unionize. Being able to, you should just do it. That's how unions work. You don't ask, you just do it. And I think that because of the amount of money being made, I feel like it's honestly at this point, it's criminal if you don't allow them to do that when you're using that labor. And a scholarship is not a paycheck. Like, what if I have an emergency and I have to leave for 2 years and come back? There's no guarantee that I'm going to get that scholarship. Even if you're a football player, by the way, or even a basketball player, maybe you walked on. You don't get a scholarship that first year you walk on. But what if you're a star player?
Like that.
What if you're great, like a lineman? A lot of times they don't get the attention, but they contribute a lot. But because of how football works, you don't get to see their face. They don't deserve compensation because they're working to stay in school because they are there for school. They just happen to play football at that point, unlike a scholarship earner from the beginning. And they have to still go out there and really outperform everybody else and then some, because that's the only way you can be a walk-on and be a starter. Like, should they not be compensated for that?
No, so
the answer is absolutely.
Yeah, there's definitely an unfairness to it. And like you said, that's where, the linemen, they're not getting jersey sales. They're not getting all this type of stuff, right? And because it's just the nature of the position, it's not a glorified position. But that doesn't mean they're any less important. Trust me, I know they're extremely important to any team. Those defensive linemen, offensive linemen are probably, other than quarterback, probably the most important position. Honestly,
Tom Brady buys them gifts every game. Every game they win, they get a gift.
That's because he's standing up. He's not on the ground getting smacked. And that's because of that. So,
as Andrew Luck, maybe he should have bought his team some TVs, bro. Maybe. Man, boy, because I ain't never seen a man retire so sad. Like, bro, I can't do this no more. But hey, look, what if that would have happened 4 years into college instead of 6-7 years in the NFL?
That's true. Exactly. There's a bunch of great examples of guys that had that type of stuff happen to them. I remember there was a running back, and I think he played for, I want to say South Carolina. I think his last name was Lattimore. I mean, he was a great running back. I mean, would have been a great NFL running back. He just was that type of back. But man, his knees, he had like two gruesome knee injuries in college, like bad. And I think he tried to come back. He might have tried to make a team. He was on a training camp roster or whatever, but he never ended up making it. And
that happened to my friend George Bell.
So it's just like all those years he was just great in college. Made so much money for South Carolina, or whichever team he was on. I think it was South Carolina, and now he's not what he worked his whole life for. He's not going to be able to go professional in that because of an injury. And so I think it's hard. It's hard for people who, their tool is their brain, right? Their tool. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't, obviously, mental part of the game is huge for us as well. But their tool is, if they're, a doctor or
The
something,
tool of execution
right? Their tool of
is their
execution is,
brain.
they study for years and years and years, and then they're able to, prescribe this or that, I mean, because they have this deep knowledge of that. And so it's hard for them to see and understand that we work, we sculpt and everything. We do this for our bodies so that we can go out and do what we want to do and what we trained our whole life for. But it could be cut short in a second, and you could never know. It's hard for I think people who work other jobs to really understand that.
Yeah, I also think that
it doesn't happen to them, really.
Yeah, and people denigrate quote unquote entertainment, and which isn't right in my opinion. I think that when you're great at something, anything, I don't give a damn what it is. I'm going to Politicon next month. People are going to watch a bunch of like political people just talk and debate because they feel like they're great at what they do, or at least at the bare minimum, they're entertaining, and they're just talking about the same thing we talk about every single day. But people are paying for it. A lot of people are paying to go to that, and so but also I think that's an excuse. I think that some of it's jealousy. Oh, well, I'm not in the NFL. I don't care. Nobody told you to choose that. Or I'm not in the NBA. I don't care. Nobody told you. But like sometimes you don't have a choice, right? Sometimes we have the illusion of choice, and with all the systemic issues we have in this country, especially when it comes the black count, the black percentage of NFL players, 70%. Something like that,
probably
roughly.
Pretty high, yeah. Pretty high.
And if you understand how systemic racism works, I would say about 50% of that 70% felt like they had no other choice, and that's what it comes down to. And so it seemed like the system, the NCAA, understanding that, is taking advantage of it rather than alleviating the circumstances. They could play such a great role, like for giving kids, parents, families something to look forward to when you get to the NCAA. Like, look, just make it here. We know that for the next 4 years, you're going to get a paycheck. Save it up, start a business after you get done. Save it up, start a coaching camp. Save it up, do whatever you want with it. But know that if you make it here, you will see a paycheck. But instead, they said, we know y'all ain't got much of another choice. In basketball, they got smart because they went through they know it's a different type of they choose it from a different crop of kids. This is private school kids. These are kids whose parents oftentimes have money because these camps to get discovered ain't cheap whatsoever. Not everybody look like Zion. Sometimes you're built like Steph Curry and you got to pay to go to them camps. You ain't so Zion might get, he might get a scholarship to a camp, but not everybody does. And so they said, we know we can't keep them for as long as we want to. So we're just going to go ahead and say 1 year and make it as smooth of a transition as humanly possible. But the NFL and the NCAA have done the complete and total opposite, all the way down to, if you go to a lesser known school, you're going to be more likely to feel, to get penalized for something that, like, for example, Duke, they found out that a player sexual assault to them. And they also found out that Coach K knew about it and hit it. No penalty whatsoever, not banned from the tournament, they didn't get any scholarships taken away because it's a private school. Like, it just got swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And so the NCAA takes advantage of that, and they're kind of like, you don't got to comment on this, but they're kind of like Roger Goodell. They just like to pick and choose who gets to follow the rules. Like, and you can't do, at least in the NFL, if you're gonna pick and choose, hell, you give me a paycheck at least, Right. It doesn't seem to be the case though. So you got any final words, any stories you want to say? And do you plan on, because I know this is kind of like a new thing now, and it's going to be a big deal in the next coming weeks. Do you plan on getting involved in that movement at all, given your experiences with the NCAA and the things that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna be on the lookout for it. Obviously pretty busy right now during the season.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit harder to even just keep up with everything, because as you know, things just move. The news side of it is just, you try and keep up with it. Everything moves so fast. But I mean, definitely whatever I can do to help. And I'm not one of those guys that are like, hey, I didn't get paid in college, so I don't want nobody else, type guys. I think it's all about solidarity, and really that's what happened. That's what you need. when you have a group of workers versus management, or, in this case, it's, the NCAA and elite institutions that are making all this money. So I will always stand with, working class, or in this case, it's the athletes who are really the working class of college sports. So, yeah, always.
All right, man. So before you go, I got this guy named Mr. October. He said, Justin Jackson, you on my fantasy football bench. Ooh, why you done benched him? Damn. See, but Sam Raj said, hey, I got Justin Jackson on my fantasy football team too. He ain't bench you. So you good.
Hey,
see,
I appreciate this. Both of you, I appreciate both of you, but thank you to my second guy.
Hey, Mr. October, bro. So you done missed it. What you got? You broke out for what, a 40-yard run last game?
Yeah, it was a touchdown, but it got called back, unfortunately.
See, but you got were you 58? You got 58 yards last game, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
roughly.
Yeah.
See, bro, I see you, man, averaging like 9 yards a damn carry, bro. I'm like, if you're gonna touch the ball and get a first down every time, you better stop playing. What? Phillip Rivers on dadgummit. All right.
That's funny because that's actually what he does.
That's what he be, bro. He be having me. I always watch the Phillip Rivers trash talking videos because they're hilarious.
Oh man, he's great at it, man.
He be with serious face, be saying some of the goofiest shit. It's hilarious.
It really gets under their skin too. It's great.
That's because it's so corny. Like you can't help but get irritated. Like, man, I'm so pissed, but it's also funny. Like it's creative. I can't really get mad. Right. All right, man. So I appreciate you coming on. Good luck this Sunday. Who y'all got this Sunday?
We play Texans.
Texans at home. Yep. Okay, cool. All right, man. Well, good luck. Go kill it. Good. And I appreciate you coming on and showing solidarity with the working class at all levels. People, like I said, we talked about last time, some people don't consider athletes the working class, but Lord Jesus, y'all literally workhorses, and you play the workhorse position. So,
exactly.
I feel it. Yeah, I feel that, bro. So other than that, man, thanks for everybody for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. And always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.